Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. I am using up one of the prints that I created when I had my gel plate play day earlier in the month. So I'm going to be using that monochromatic print as well as this sparkle abstract stencil. It is the same one that I used to make the print, but I wanted there to be some actual sparkle. So I'm using a sparkle spray going through the stencil, and you can see where all the openings were on the print. They now have the sparkle. So I'm setting that aside to dry, and I have pulled out just some scrap brown cardstock, and I'm using several of the dies from the What Lies Beneath die set. I want to just create a bunch of wood planks, and you'll see how I use them in just a minute. But I just take all of these and I run them through my die cut machine, and then that cardstock, that particular cardstock, is fairly thin. So I'm using a piece of old cardboard. I think it's a popcorn box, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see in a little bit though. I do turn it over. But I'm just using some wet glue to adhere these down. I don't need a very big portion, so I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I'm just using what I need to cover this small space. Again, just laying it down with the wet glue, and I'm kind of staggering them. I like that look. It kind of looks like floorboards, though we are not making a floor. But I am staying in the all neutral, the browns, kind of sepia tones, if you will. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm taking this vase die, and it is going to become a wooden vase, and I'm super excited about it. Now, the wooden, or the vase die comes from the honeysuckle die set from Alice's Story that was released this past spring. And there will be more of Alice's Story products being released in the months to come, so stay tuned for those. And so I'm figuring out which direction I want this to go. And then I just run it through my mini die cutting machine there. You can use any die cutting machine that you have. Yeah, you can see there it's a popcorn box. So I did tape the die down only because this particular system has a potential to shift, so I didn't want that to happen. So there you can see that I used the postage die from the Layer It die set to cut out the background panel, which is from that Sparkles Abstract gel plate print. Well, it wasn't a print, it was, I printed the stencil while it still had medium on it. So now I'm taking a little brush as well as the Vintage Photo Distress ink, and I am just adding a little bit of ink across that wooden vase, which I just think that looks so good. But the ink helps to bring out the texture, and now I'm doing just a little bit of ink blending around this card base as well. I just want that kind of that vintagey look to bring in just some more color as well to make everything pop with the various tones. And then I'm going to be using that craft card base. And now I have several leaves, and I previously die cut these for another project, but they're from the Autumn Artisan die set, and they are die cut out of watercolor card. The type of cardstock you use is, it depends on what project you're making. These were already die cut and waiting in the package, so I went ahead and used them, and they're kind of a cream color. Watercolor isn't a pure white, so I like the fact that these weren't a pure white either. So I snipped them here and there just to make them fit, and I arranged them just like you would any flower arrangement. And then I die cut this smaller frame, again from the Layer It die set. Popped it up on some double-sided foam tape, and I just eyeballed it there, and I was off. So I pulled it up. That's why I used the wet glue, y'all. So I have that shift time if I need it. And then I am using that frame to highlight this beautiful vase with the autumn leaves in it. And I'm loving this monochromatic look, guys. What do you think? I think it looks so good. But I wanted some more of that sparkle, so I just laid down a towel to pick up any overspray, and I sprayed those leaves. And then I dabbed up any excess or where it had pooled anywhere. So now I'm pulling out the words Autumn Blessings from Autumn Memories stamp and die set. Well, they're sold separately, so this is obviously just the stamp set. And this oval die comes from the Autumn Artisan die set as well. So I wasn't sure if I was just going to leave it on the rectangle or if I was going to cut out the oval. And I decided to use the oval, and I did just a little bit of ink blending around the edges again on this one. And then I'm popping this up on some double-sided foam tape. I do one layer of foam tape at the top because the vase is already one layer high because of the frame, and then I use 2 layers on the bottom so that it's even. And there we go. There's the card. Look at all that sparkle and shine. So the sparkle and the shine of the spray, that's the bells and whistles on this particular card. I didn't use any kind of confetti or anything like that. I just let all the die cuts do the talking, and then that sparkle gives you a bam. Now for your bam, if you would have preferred to have some confetti or some sparkle gems or something like that, I would encourage you to do you. There's so many ways that you can get that glorious sparkly bam. But for now, guys, this has been Nancy the Handy Scandy. I thank you for joining me. If you want to see the original of this video, you can hop over to This Calls for Confetti and see it over there. But I will be back with much more from TCFC, as well as just things from my crafty space. So until next time, y'all, this has been Nancy the Handy Scandy. Mwah! And I'm out.